Hey guys, this is the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for November 5th, 2023. Going to do the week 9 NFL picks Saturday notes as we usually do on Saturday night before the Sunday games start. Just go over the picks one last time, see if there's any adjustments. Since the last time we did this, we have our full injury report and everything. So, I had some changes, so I want to go over those. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would mean a lot to us. If you want to help support the show, word of mouth is the best way. So you can send this URL to someone who may like the show but doesn't know about it. So it's starting a little late as usual on Saturday nights. Like I've had my typical fall asleep on the couch session here, like just getting ready for the show and going over all the games. Like I was actually listening to an NFL fantasy a DFS podcast. So it's actually like stochastic, and like I remember just waking up suddenly and I'm like almost done the episode. I'm like, wait, what just happened? And like I was typing stuff up and I just like fell asleep just doing that. So so here we are. It's kind of a tough scene with two kids under two, just being exhausted all the time, getting like 3 hours of sleep a night. But I'm kind of like refreshed after that hour-long nap. So got a question from Josh: Higgins or Kirk rest of season? I would go Higgins because he's healthy now. Kirk is going to lose targets to Zay Jones when he comes back. Remember, Kirk was seeing fewer snaps when Zay Jones was playing because Zay Jones was playing ahead of him in two receiver formations. But like that changed when Zay Jones got hurt. So when Zay Jones come back, I think that it's just going to be different. So, and like, plus Joe Burrow's healthy, Higgins is healthy now. Like, I think Higgins is going to have some big performances. Hey, what's up? It's up, man. Let's Josh saying, would you do this trade in 20 team PPR, trading away Christian Kirk for Javonte Williams and Higgins? Yes, I would. And especially in the 20 team, like, I feel like you need better players, just because like everyone's roster is going to be thin. I would rather have Javonte and Higgins personally. All right, so the first game is Dolphins at Chiefs, or not at Chiefs technically, but in Germany, 9:30 a.m. I once again I hate these games. It's gonna be such a long Sunday, and like especially for like people on the West Coast, just waking up at 6:30 to watch this game just seems ridiculous. But we had some like travel schedule stuff with the Chiefs. Like they traveled on Thursday instead of the Dolphins who were traveling on Monday. And like you had Mike McDaniel talking about how the team was bonding and everything. Whereas like Chiefs, like you had Marcus Valdes-Scantling talking about how it sucks to fly to Germany and like he doesn't know who's gonna watch his dogs, even though it's like, what do you do usually on away games? Like I don't understand what's so different this time. But then you had like Andy Reid saying like he didn't know when the game started. So it just feels like the Chiefs are in a mess, are a mess right now, whereas like the Dolphins are kind of focused and they're bonding and stuff like that. I just think the Dolphins are in a better place. The Chiefs are the better team. If this were in Kansas City on this were like 1 o'clock, or I guess it would be like 4:25. In a normal game, I think I'd be on Kansas City, but I think that Miami is just adjusted to the time better in Germany, and I think they're going to win the game, even though they're the worst team in this matchup. So I'm not currently betting this game, but I don't know. Maybe I'll consider a unit or so. But it's just so tough to go Kansas City off a loss. Josh saying I'm hesitant. I don't think Williams would start. Well, Javonte Williams, I feel like, is getting more touches these days. Like he was on a snap. He was on a snap count to start the year, but like it feels like that's going up. So I think that he's going to get more and more touches. So in Red Eye says at least you get a bonus hour for standard time. We're moving the clocks back? I thought they stopped that. Am I missing something? I thought Congress voted on stopping it. Are we really? That's kind of news to me. Moleman Forever says the pressure on Miami to beat an actual contender, Germany or not. I guess, but like they're underdogs, right? So I think this is more of like a statement game for them, if anything. So I'm more inclined to take Miami here. Just I think they want to prove people wrong. Whereas like Kansas City just seems like I said, I think they're just kind of lost right now and kind of like mentally in a bad place. It could be wrong though. All right. Vikings out the Falcons. This line dropped to 4. Actually, it was 3.5. It went to 4. I think on the news that the Christian Darrisaw got downgraded to questionable on Saturday, which is like never a good sign. And it's obviously not ideal. Like Darrisaw is such a great left tackle. But I still think the Vikings should be able to win or maybe at least cover without him. I think they're the better team. Just look at the rosters. I think overall they're better. Like I know Jaron Hall is making his first start, but like rookie quarterbacks making their first start ever since I think 2020 have such a high rate of covering the spread. I want to actually pull up this number because I found it. An emailer sent it to me. Let's see. Quarterbacks making their first start since 2020 are 19-6-2 against the spread, which is like pretty crazy if you think about it. But then again, like the opponents have no film on these guys. I don't think the Falcons know what to expect out of Jaron Hall. And we get him as an underdog here, and they've done even better as an underdog. As an underdog, they are underdog of a field goal or more. They're 11-3-2 against the spread. So, yeah, I love the Vikings here. Even if Darisal's out, like I'm hoping Darisal plays. But yeah, I guess we'll have to find out at 11:30. How about bet Finn's first half? Do you have like a reason for that? I guess I could see like Kansas City getting off to a slow start. I think that kind of makes sense. All right, next game is we have Seahawks at Ravens. This is I made a pick change here, even though like the line went to 6.5. Jacob actually talked me into Seattle. I do a call with Jacob and Tom Quacky Takes, who we had on the show on Thursday. We do a call on Friday to discuss our super contest, and actually it would be like a great show, I think, to show you guys like our thought process here and like how we break down all the games. But like I don't know if Jacob and Tom would want our super contest picks like shown to the public. Not that we're doing well this year right now, but like if we were doing well, like I don't know if we'd want our super contest picks released to see like if other people wanted to catch us and like wanted to play against us. But anyway, like Jacob talked me into Seattle. And like initially I was like, it's like, man, this line's so high. Like it's just like begging people to bet like Seattle. But then Jacob kind of made a good point where it's like, he thinks like the sportsbooks made an error in thinking what the public thought about Seattle. And they thought that the people would still bet Baltimore, but that's not been the case. And the sharps have been on Seattle. So I can see where he's coming from. Plus, like Seattle has some talented receivers, and they're going to be in position for backdoor cover. I think they could definitely do it. So I'm not betting this game or anything, but I think that Seattle is definitely worth a look. I like, and I posted some props too. You can find them on the page. I like Zay Flowers under 56.5 receiving yards. I props for almost every single game, especially in the early slate. So Josh Jordan says need 3 half PPR: Rice, Hunt, Higgins, DJ Moore, Stevenson, Kincaid. I think I'd definitely go Higgins. I think I would go. I think I'd go Higgins, Stevenson, and Moore. I think. Actually, I actually like Rashee Rice. So, yeah, no, I still think I'd go Higgins, Moore, and Stevenson. It's close though. I think I'd want to include Rice. Definitely not Hunt or Kincaid. So yeah, Mike says I like Seattle could win straight up. Yeah, I think that it's worth a shot. You could take the money line or the -2.5 alt line. I think that would be pretty good. I wonder what I don't know what the vig is on the -2.5 alt line. I took the Minnesota -2.5 alt line, and the vig is I think like +186. So yeah, I think they could definitely do it. So actually, I found that the -2.5 alt lines are better than the money lines like straight up. So. I think that's something to look into. This Cardinals-Browns game was kind of interesting that like on that call with Jacob and Tom, like we were considering taking Arizona here at +8 in the super contest because there's a chance Kyler Murray would play. And it sounded like he might, but then he was ruled out. And this line has been climbing ever since. It's like 12.5 now, which is like at some point, like it's going to be too high. For an injured Deshaun Watson. Like maybe he's 100% now. And actually, like I probably think he's probably closer to 100% because I don't think they'd put him out there if he's not. But still, like there's a chance that he's not healthy. And it's not like he was playing well beforehand. He had a great game against Tennessee, but otherwise, like he's been like pretty mediocre at best. So like at some point it's gonna be too high. Maybe that point is 14, because like 14 is actually like the fourth most likely result of any NFL game. So maybe you're looking at a 14. I don't think it'll get there. It might get to 13 and a half. I don't think they'll go to 14, but still, if it does get to 14, or if you could like buy it at the 14, like maybe Arizona is definitely worth the look at 14. Even with like Clayton Tune, like this again, this like quarterbacks making their first start. They've done pretty well, but like this Cleveland defense is for real, so it's kind of hard to back a rookie quarterback or a rookie backup quarterback against them. So I'd worry about that. This Rams Packers game, the line's gone to 3.5. I think on the news that Schefter pointed out that Stafford's unlikely to play. Like there's still a chance, but it's unlikely. And I kind of question like why the line would move like on that news, because I thought it was like pretty apparent that he wasn't going to play. Like he didn't practice all week. So like why would it suddenly move? I don't get it. Like I actually would rather have him out. Like I don't want him playing with that sprained ligament in his thumb. Like I feel like he would just really struggle. Where it's like, Brett Rippon sucks, but so does this Packers defense. Like I feel like the Rams should be able to run the ball on them. And I think this is another one where the team could win outright. I'm kind of considering Rams -2.5 alt line as well. We're not going to get as good a vig as we did with the Vikings, but man, this Packers team sucks. Like they just lost the Broncos, they lost the Raiders, they got smoked by the Vikings at home. Like they haven't played well since week 3, and even that in that game, they needed to come back against the Saints at home. Like they barely beat the Saints. It was like 18-17. And like the week before that, they barely beat Atlanta, or they almost lost. They're beating Atlanta, then they lost to them. And then week 1 against Chicago, like they smoked Chicago, but Chicago was pretty bad to start the year. Like Chicago lost to Tampa by 10 the following week. So yeah, just I don't get why the Packers are favored here. Like the Rams are the better team, and even with Rippon, I think they're definitely worth a shot. We have Richard saying that the OC of Arizona was with the Browns for 3 years and QB coach last year. Yeah, that's true. Like they definitely have some inside information. So that's definitely a good angle. That also applies to the Panthers with Frank Reich going against the Colts. Top survivor pick this week. If you have the Browns available against the Cardinals, definitely them. If you don't, for some reason, maybe the Saints over the Bears. Like I think those are the two most obvious choices. Kel says Packers win and cover. Walt, come on, dude, stop looking at Pat's results. It's a public dog. You can't seriously take LA. Are the Rams a public dog? No, the Packers are getting the money. The Rams are not getting the money. So I don't know why you think they're a public dog. It's like 53-47 Packers right now. So yeah. Is there another reason why you like the Packers? Because like they're not a public dog, or the Rams are not a public dog. All right, next game. Let's see here. We have Buccaneers Texans. I locked this one in at -2.5, -115. So the Buccaneers suck. Like we went into the year thinking that they were a bottom 5 team, and then they beat Minnesota because Kirk Cousins had these bad turnovers, and then they beat Chicago when Justin Fields ran twice after the opening drive, and then and then in week 4 they played against the Saints, and Derek Carr couldn't throw the ball downfield because he had an injured shoulder. Like those are the Buccaneers wins. Like outside of that, they've been blown out in a lot of the games. They covered against the Bills, but they needed 2 4th down conversions with penalties. And then they needed the ball to like bounce off a helmet into Mike Evans's arms. Like that's how they covered against Buffalo, like an injured Buffalo team. I think Houston matches up well against them. Tampa can't stop the pass. So I feel like CJ Stroud's going to have a really good game here. And Houston can get after the quarterback, and Tampa can't pass protect. Like I feel like people are overvaluing this Buccaneer team just based on the record, whereas like their record should easily be worse. Like it could be like 2-5 or 1-6 really. And if that were the case, like Houston would be favored by more than 3. So I think we're getting some decent line value in Houston. I think they're definitely the right side here. Because it's not about the percentage money; it's about the money on the team. No, that's not true. It's I'll tell you the percentages right now. It's 53% of the bets are on the Packers, and 54% of the money's on the Packers. So the Rams are definitely not a public dog in any sense. Team gets 70% of the bets, and yeah, it's not. No, the Packers are getting the money and the bets right now. All right, so we go to Redskins Patriots. If you guys have any leans on this, let me know. I have no idea what to make of this game because, like, on one hand, you have the Redskins who traded away their two best players, so they could be flat. They're not going to be flat the whole year, but the week after, they have to be kind of questioning the front office because they played the Eagles tough twice, and like I don't know if I'm a player like that and I'm thinking like, okay, we almost beat the Eagles twice. Yeah, we maybe have a shot to get to the wild card. We're only a one game out, but then they traded away Chase Young and Montez Sweat, and it's like now if I'm a player there, I'm like what the hell? I guess we're giving up on the season, so like they could be flat. But then you have this Patriots team that really shouldn't be favored by more than 3, and also they have to travel to Germany after this game, so they could be distracted. So I don't know what to make this game. If you guys have any idea, let me know. I'm inclined to take Washington in the points, but I really don't like either side. And then the final early games, Bears Saints. I heard a compelling case for the Bears. Like the Saints, like Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, like both terrible as favorites. I think like Derek Carr is like 1-9 against the spread as a big favorite or something like that. I'm not sure if that stat is correct, but and Dennis Allen has like an atrocious record as a favorite. But then again, like the Saints teams, like their defense is really good, whereas like and the Bears still have a lot of injuries. So like I think the Bears are one of the most injured teams in the NFL this week, along with the Colts. So they're kind of tough to back right now. Like if they were healthier, I definitely have interest in Chicago. I just can't back them right now because of the injuries. Richard says I would take Saints over the Browns. Weak offense of Browns with Watson. Watson's had one good game this year. Arizona defense could get turnovers. Yeah, that's definitely true. I think that you have to kind of look ahead though. This is something I learned from Whistles Go Woo, who's is one of the best defense players in the world, and he's a professor at I think the University of Connecticut. He wrote a dissertation on like the survivor pools, and which is like a really good read. And he said he likes a 9-week rolling horizon strategy where like you look ahead only 9 weeks, not the whole season because a lot can change, but like you plan out your strategy like 9 weeks in advance. And so how I planned out was like I'm looking at games ahead, and like the Saints have an easy game against the Panthers in the future, whereas like the Browns don't really like the Browns. Like, I think there's like one game where like it's okay, but the Saints have the easier game in the future, whereas so that's another reason why I would take the Browns in the spot. But like I think you can't go wrong with either. It's just important to look ahead. Dan says I don't know how 8.5 Saints seems like a good to be true to bet that line. So you think it's low? Because I don't know, like the advanced spread in the game was like 5.5, so it's moving a lot. John says Bengals down to -1.5. Is it a trap? Let me see. I'm seeing 2.5 across the board. I don't know. I mean, maybe sportsbooks out there has a -1.5, but I'm seeing 2.5 in most sportsbooks. But it does look trappy, though. It really does. Just that is a concern. A Quacky is taking Buffalo for that reason in our card. So I was kind of like torn on the game, and he's like convinced me to go Buffalo. So we're going Buffalo. It's kind of funny because I also have a shared entry with Eitan Shander from the Odd Shopper, and he likes Cincinnati. So like I have one entry with Cincinnati tomorrow, and I have one entry at Buffalo. So I'm gonna win one of those, right? John saying FanDuel for the line. That's interesting. For some reason, like FanDuel won't work on my computer right now. Oh, it's working now. For like earlier, it was not working. I want to log in and see if that's the case because like I'm seeing 2.5 almost everywhere. Not that I don't believe you. It's just like so weird that it would be -1.5 here. Yeah, it's -1.5, -115. That's kind of strange. I wonder why that's so different because like yeah, it's 2.5 at like every other sports book. So yeah, I mean 2 is not a key number by any means. So I don't know if I'd pay the extra vig for that. Dan says I feel Bears is the right side, so hard to bet on Carr with that much of a spread. Oh, okay. So you think it's too high? Yeah, I could see that. Like I said, the only thing is like the Bears have so many injuries. That's my worry. But if you're okay with that, then I go with the Bears. Dan says Bills seem to be the right side. Do you want to explain? Because I'm like torn on that game really. I think I'm more inclined to take the Bengals because I think they're the better team, especially with Joe Burrow and T Higgins being healthy. Joe Mixon looks right. The defense is gonna really go after Josh Allen, and the Bills are banged up. Like the Bills haven't been the same since losing Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White. Um, Richard says Dennis Allen's 1-14 in the next game after covering in a win. I don't like that. Yes, that's pretty brutal. Trends are trends. They could always turn around. Like he could easily, not easily, but he could be 14-1 the next 15, right? But he is a bad coach, so I think that more likely than not he's going to have a losing record. So yeah, maybe you're on to something there. Like I said, I'm going to for the third time, I would like the Bears if they're healthier. They have so many injuries though. Maybe I can show you guys. Let's see. They just have like too many guys out. I want to show you guys. Okay, loading it up right now. So we have Chicago. So Jaquan Brisker, safety out. Nate Davis out. This does not include guys on IR and like that. They're also missing a tackle who's on IR right now. That would be Braxton Jones. So they're missing two offensive linemen. Oh no, Braxton Jones is going to be it's questionable. It's interesting. For some reason, I thought he was an IR. So he's limited full. Anyway, Tremaine Edmonds, great linebackers out. Obviously, Justin Fields out too. Eddie Jackson played last week, but he was active last week. But he didn't play. So maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it was. For some reason, I thought Braxton Jones was out in my head. I actually have him. I have him listed on IR. I guess that was like false information. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking someone else. But yeah. Anyway, so okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Maybe Chicago's worth a look. Let's see. With some new comments here. Lion King says, "I like Dallas over the Eagles. Eagles are fraudulent." I agree. Their defense is pretty bad. Dan says, I'm a Bengal fan, but there's a history of trends where teams play Niners the next game and they either not cover the spread or lose outright. Well, we can look that up through the magic of killersports.com. It's here. So you could go previous opponent, PO, team equals 49ers. And let's do like season since 2020. Let's see how they've done. I don't know. It's not working right. Oh, you have to spell out 49ers. I don't know why. Wow, look at that. So the team that previously played the 49ers at 23-33 gets the spread. That is it's weird, right? Why is that the case? Again, like trends are trends. Like some trends don't make sense. Like why is this bad? I don't know. It could this could easily be just weird variance. The next 7 could win, and then after that they're 30-33. But that is strange. I wonder why that's the case. If you guys have any idea, let me know. Carter says, I think Bengals is a better team and has near playoff level importance given the team situation. Burrow is more of a clutch QB IMO. I completely agree with that. Then this is if Allen plays like a superstar, then they will win this game. Yeah, but I mean, couldn't Burrow play like a superstar too? Like, I mean, I think Burrow's better than Allen. It's so hard to stomach betting on the Bears with that QB. Don't get me wrong. I thought Bagent played okay. Like, remember, their receiver dropped a touchdown in that Charger game, and like he connected with Darnell Mooney on their first play, and they blew the play dead. Like that should have been a touchdown. Like that game could have gone a lot differently. The Big Man says, Walt, I became a father on Monday. That's awesome. Congratulations. Any tips from one dad to another? Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, congrats. I just like, man, it's the best thing. Like being a dad is the best thing. Like it's incredible. It's exhausting though. So, just be prepared for not sleeping as much as you're used to. I think once you get used to that, it'll be a lot happier. But yeah, I mean, like cherish every moment. Obviously, you know, I made sure to read to my son like almost every day when like even when he's a baby, but like now definitely like now he's a toddler. Um, read to him like before bed every night. And just like you know, like these like time will go by quickly, I think, and like suddenly you know in the blink of an eye like he'll be going off to college or something like that. Just like enjoy every moment, man. It's pretty incredible. So yeah, like I don't have like any like crazy tips or anything like that. Outside of just enjoying everything. And I don't know, like I'm sure you've gotten used to like changing diapers and everything. Like now, like it's funny because I was talking to my nephews about this. Um, when my son was born, the nurse at the hospital came in and was like, "Do you know how to change a diaper?" I'm like, "No, how do you do that?" And like she did it, and it looked like I was like, "Oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to do this." It's like rocket science. And then like it took me like like a week or something to figure it out. And then it became easy. And now it's like hard again because my son just squirms around and stuff like that. And he doesn't like he's almost 2. He doesn't want his diaper changed. So like it's funny how that works. Anyway, but again, man, congratulations. That's awesome. Sports 78 says, I went with the Patriots and Falcons in the Circa Survivor. Thoughts? Patriots, I wouldn't want to back them. Even against the Redskins, I don't know. Like they'll probably win, but that's a dangerous team to back. And Falcons, I think the Vikings could win outright. Um, actually bet the Vikings at -2.5. So I'm not a fan. Did you not have the Saints or Browns left? Because I feel like those would have been. I would have went with those. Um, damn, Walt, look at you with SQL queries. Yeah, I have a lot of experience with killer sports. 49ers hit hard, bro. That's why. Fair, I guess, but I don't know. Don't the other teams hit hard? Like let's do Steelers, right? Steelers hit hard. Like how teams done after the Steelers? 32 and 23. Like I just feel like this is so random. I don't know. To me, I think this is just a trend that just has done well for no reason. Moleman says perhaps as the 49ers are generally good and teams come out flat after a big effort. Um, wasn't there like another what's another team that's been great recently? The Eagles since 2020 have been great too, right? Um, Eagles, okay, 22 and 35. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But this year they've done what better, right? Well, 3-3, 3-3-1. Um, I don't know. It's hard to buy this, I guess. Um, well, what's this super contest record pre-sun and post-sun? Are the numbers suffering? Uh, so in 2020, I finished 7th in the super contest, and then my son was born on New Year's Eve, 2021. But in 2022, I had 3 entries. I had one by myself, I had one with Jacob, and one with Quacky Takes, and all of us finished in the top 100. So we did like pretty well last year. Last year we started the year I think 17 and 3, all 3 of us. And then like October was so brutal. We had like 3 bad weeks in October that kind of like capsized us, but we did like pretty well otherwise. Um, and then this year has just been like so bad. Like it's just like I don't know. Like it's tough to figure out if it's like bad handicapping or like bad variance. Like I feel like maybe both. Like that Patriots Raiders game, that stupid safety, like that we should have won that game, right? But then other games, I'm kind of like either looking at bad picks or like picks I should have made otherwise. But I feel better heading into this week. I feel like I'm more focused. Things are like a little clearer now. And yeah, so well, hopefully that pans out in before 0-5, right? Injuries the Bears have are significant, don't you think? Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, they're missing some key players for sure. Although Braxton Jones being healthier has kind of changed things. In my head, I thought he was out. You good on statistics there? Any great receivers had drops early? Lions fans bashing. I don't know, like great receivers who had drops early. I don't know. See, Dan, don't get me wrong. I think Joe's good. Let's see. it goes back and forth. Bengals just smash the Bills into the ground. It probably will be a back and forth game. I could definitely see that happening. I trust Joe Burrow though more than Josh Allen. Um, so right, easy changing a diaper or tying a necktie, dude. I don't know how to tie a necktie. I can't do it. I've had people try to teach me. I've watched lots of YouTube videos. I can't figure it out at all. I have given up. I don't wear ties at all. I just wear open collar. And if people call me out on it, I'm like, dude, ties suck. Like, what are you doing? Why are you wearing a tie? So that's where I stand. Diapers have gotten a lot easier, but then again, it's gotten harder recently because my son squirms around so much. Sports 78, he says I did have the Saints and Browns, but 92% of the pools on them. Yeah, I guess like you want to. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't want to take bad sides to be contrarian, but I do see the merit in that though. So I mean, you really stand to benefit. I just don't see. I really don't see the Browns losing to Clayton Tune. You know, maybe the Saints lose. Maybe the Saints are a team you wanted to avoid. Like I can see the Saints losing to the Bears. I just don't see the Browns losing. Moment says I don't get the hate for Derek Carr. He seems generally competent. Just think he's like an average to slightly below average quarterback. I think he's okay. I think maybe he cried like at the podium last year. I think like he got some hate for that. But generally, he seems like I don't hate him. I think he's a bit overrated. I think like some people think he's like really good. Like when the Saints signed him, like people are like, oh wow, the Saints have a good quarterback. And I'm like, he's not that good. He's just okay. So yeah, Dan Sand says the Patriots ending holy hell, but that's part of the game when it comes to handicapping. Yeah, it was. I guess I don't know. Like at some point, you have to kind of like wonder because I think it's important to know if you have the right side or not, or if like you're handicapping well because it's one thing if you think you're wrong, like if you made a bad pick, let's just say like the Rams Cowboys game from last week. I had the Rams. That was a bad pick. But like Patriots Raiders was not a bad pick. It was just like a bad variance at the end. Like, and it's important to know that because if you're making bad picks, you need to change what you're doing because like you're going to keep making bad picks. But if you had bad luck, and you're making what you think are good picks, then you just kind of have to keep rolling with it and hope you have better luck. You know, I think it's important to kind of distinguish between the two. John says, interesting PFF stat that Josh Allen only has 3 turnover plays since week 1. Turnover is a big part of Bengals turnaround. Maybe that's where they aren't getting -3 at the least. It could be. I don't know. I know a professional bettor who likes the Bills, and he told me that it was because of like they're not sold on the Bengals like being back yet. Like they're like, oh, Burrow only had 1 great game. Is he back? Question mark. I'm like, yeah, I think so. Like, I didn't say that. I'm like, I looked like he was 19-19 against the Niners. Like what more do you see? You have to see. I don't get it. I really think the Bengals are the right side, but it is very shady line movement. Dan saying I've won that way and lost that way. I feel variance just something you can't predict. Oh, of course not. You can't predict variance. It's football. Like the ball could bounce a million ways, and like it's just you need to bounce it. You need the ball to bounce your way. But like I said, it's important to know if you're handicapping well or not. Like again, Rams last week, bad pick. Patriots versus Raiders, I thought good pick. It's just both lost, but I think there's a difference between the two. All right, let's finish up these games. We have 3 in the late afternoon slate. Since I close this, as soon as I do, please hit like, subscribe, comment below. All right, we have Colts Panthers. So on the call, we had a couple of guys really like the Panthers. Aton loves the Panthers. I think Jacob is on the Panthers too. He's pretty high on the Panthers as well. I've decided to bet them. I think that like the Colts, they're very injured too. I want to show you guys their injuries. I think they're the most injured team this week, probably. So Dallas Flowers is not here. He's on IR, and Julius Brent is out. Those are their 2 top corners. So they're missing their 2 top corners. Josh Downs may not play, probably will, but may not. Zaire Franklin is he's been their best linebacker since Shaq Leonard has been on the decline. He's doubtful. Uh, Blake Freeland is back up. Then you have Braden Smith, the right tackle's out too. And not here is also Grover Stewart. They're like big nose tackle. He's suspended. Um, so they're missing a lot of key players, like at least one on every level of their defense and the right tackle, plus their quarterback, obviously. So like this team is so banged up. I think they should be able to run well on the Panthers. That's my only concern here. Is like this could be a rehash of Colts Texans that we saw week 2, where the Colts dominated because they just ran the ball in Houston. But I think like Frank Reich having insider info on the Colts is going to help. I think that may be the difference in this game. So I've decided to bet the Panthers. Still high on the Giants here. I know that interim coaches have a good record in their first game. They're 14-10 since 2010. But like, it's not that. First of all, it's not that good of a record, and like, it's okay. Like, I don't think you should blindly bet it. And second, the Raiders fired their coach on Wednesday morning. Like, so it's like a different here. Like, it's tougher to prepare. The Raiders on a tough schedule. They played the Central Time Zone 2 weeks ago, then Eastern Time Zone on Monday night. Now they travel back to the West Coast. And the Giants defense has been awesome recently. Like 2 weeks ago, or no, 3 weeks ago, they beat they almost beat the Bills. They held them to 14 points. 2 weeks ago, they held Washington to 7 points, and those 7 came off a muff punt. And last week we had that game, that 13-10 game, where the Giants did a great job on the Jets. Not that like that's an impressive feat or anything, but like again, like their defense has been so good. I don't think they should have any trouble with the Raiders offense, which has been like so bad. Aiden O'Connell starting, like he held the ball forever against the Chargers in his first start, and like that he's going to be like a sitting duck against Kayvon Thibodeau. And we have Eagles Cowboys here. Cowboys Eagles. I like the Cowboys. I think they're the better team. The Eagles defense is so bad. They rank 23rd in EPA. So that's the worst unit on this field. And I think this is a big statement game for Dallas. Whereas like a couple weeks ago, when the Eagles hosted Miami, I thought that was more of a statement game for them. Because like Miami had some big performances, like that 70-point game against Denver, and like there was like Eagles' chance to show like they're the better team than one of the top teams in the AFC. But here, like Dallas is 5-2, like the Eagles are 7-1. Everyone says the Eagles are the best team. Like Dallas can say no, we're the best team. So I think that like Dallas has the edge as far as that's concerned. And Bills Bengals once again. I'll say this. I think that I think the Bengals are the right side at -2. Anything less than 3, I like the Bengals. It's just like some very shady line movement. Sharps like the Bills, but I don't. Sharps are more right than wrong. I just think that they're on the wrong side here, but I could be wrong. I don't think I'm going to bet this game for that reason. Like I know a lot of smart people who like the Bills, so I'm going to stay away. And then Chargers Jets. We have. There's some concern about like I got a message from my friend BCB, who's like a Jets fan, and he said like be careful about betting the Jets because they're going to be down to their 4th-string center and 3rd-string right guard. Well, like at their 3rd-string center, Joe Tippmann, is really played right guard. He's going to move to center, and like there was some concern that he was going to miss the game, but he's not. Like so he's going to play, so that's a plus. And their current right guard is Billy Turner, who's like. He's not bad. He's not like some practice squad scrub. He's not good either, but like he's at least like a functional player. And the Chargers don't have a great interior pass rush. So I think the Jets will be fine. I think this line is pretty dumb. I think that the Jets should be pick 'em or like -1. I really don't understand this Chargers line. Like the Jets have embarrassed Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts. Like they're not gonna do the same thing to Justin Herbert. Like and the Jets are so reliant on the pass, so they can't run. Like, and the Jets defense is worse against the run than the pass. So I feel like they should be able to like hold the Chargers in check. So yeah. So we have more comments here. One man says Buffalo has been flat since the Milano and White injuries, and they barely got past the Bucs. Yeah, totally. Yeah, they almost lost that game, even like the Buccaneers were lucky to cover. They almost lost that game. Their defense has not been the same. Like maybe Rasul Douglas is going to help, so maybe that nullifies White, but still, like not having Milano is just such a big loss for the team, especially because like they lost Tremaine Edmonds in the offseason, so like they're really down 2 linebackers from last year. Dan says there's more motivation for the Bills because the Bills lost to the Bengals last year in the playoffs. Yeah, it's playoff revenge for sure. But this is a big showcase game on Sunday Night Football. Like, I think the Bengals are definitely going to be locked in. Like, they still view the Bills as a good team. So I think the Bengals are going to have motivation too. It could be wrong, but I think that motivation is like pretty even. Sports 78 says lean Indy, but I'm not laying points with Minshew on the road. Yeah, generally you don't want to do that. But then again, it is an easy matchup. I'll say that. Well, not for Minshew, but for the rushing attack. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have a big game. I bet Jonathan Taylor over rushing yards. Bryce over passing prop. I don't know what it is. I'd have to think about that. I think that could work out. Bryce Young had played better since they changed the play calling. So, I don't think it's that bad. In a game, I like Jonathan Taylor over more than anything. John Sanders says should never play Taylor when you can get that kind of production out of someone like Zach Moss. Yeah, you never want to pay running backs. I agree. I think that was a big mistake. Then is there a solid trend for teams getting fired? You mean like coaches, their interim head coaches? I think I said this earlier. Interim coaches are 14-10. I guess the spread is 20-10 in the first game. Which is like, it's okay. Like it's nothing to write home about. Like it's definitely a positive record. It's 58% against the spread, but it's kind of a small sample size. So I wouldn't really read too much into it. Sports 78 says, I think Dallas wins outright. Yeah, I think so too. Dan says Chargers with their head coach will always figure out a way to lose the game. I don't know why Brandon Staley wasn't fired. It's kind of ridiculous. Still in Red Eye says, I think your buddy Fetterman blocked the move to eliminate standard time. So set your clock back. Did Fetterman really block it? I feel like it's kind of like he shouldn't be allowed to vote on anything. Like I don't know if he's like a functional human being. And yet I don't know. Like I don't want to get into politics, but the other guy was so bad. I didn't vote for either guy. I voted for the libertarian candidate. I'm like, for those of you who don't know, I'm like the most libertarian person ever. Like I think we should eliminate the federal government, but like I can go into politics if you want, but this is a football show. Woman Forever says Dallas always lets people down. Yeah, usually Dallas like plays well against bad teams and chokes in big games, but I don't know. If they're underdogs here, like they're not expected to win. The public loves the Eagles. Everyone loves the Eagles. I think this is a different case. Like they're not expected to win. But whereas that like the Niners game, like I think people are torn on that game. So I don't know. I think this might be a different case. John says, Bonehead face mask cost me $100 in that Buccaneers game. Yeah, it's I didn't bet the game. I like feel bad for anyone who had the Bills in that game because I think they were the right side. It's just kind of ridiculous. Like even Jacob who had the Buccaneers, he was perfect on Thursday night. Like after that, and even he was like, yeah, I shouldn't have won the game. It's so bad. That was another game. Like if you handicap that game and you came away with the Bills being the right side, I think you were right. Like even though you lost, like I think it's important to differentiate like good like bad losses versus bad picks. I think that's definitely important. Ocean Odell says, I really like what I'm seeing from Cincinnati. Burrow was amazing. No picks. He led 2 touchdown drives in the fourth, answering every comeback attempt for San Francisco. Said Cincinnati's defense made a big play. So yeah, I think the Bengals are awesome. I think you can make the case that the Bengals by the end of the year will be regarded as the best team in the NFL. That's why like on this show last week, I said I like Joe Burrow at 40-1 to win MVP. Because if the Bengals run the table or like we'll lose one game for the rest of the year, I think that you can make a case that Burrow is going to win MVP because it's wide open right now. Like there's no clear favorite. I guess it's Jalen Hurts right now, but only because he's the quarterback on the team with the best record. But like someone could seize that MVP win. I think it could be Burrow. So I think that's numbers like down to 17-1 now. So some people like bet it for sure, or at least like the sports books like in response to that game, we're like, all right, we better move this line down. Sports 78 says, I think one of the main headlines after tomorrow will be, will Riverboat Ron be fired? Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's done a good job. I was kind of disappointed with him in Washington. I thought he'd be better, but apparently not. It seems like the Redskins will never have a good coach or a good quarterback. It just seems like they've been looking for good coach and a good quarterback for so long, since the early 90s when they had Joe Gibbs the first time. Like, they just can't find anyone. It's just I don't know. It's so weird. And they've had different owners too now. Woman says, why are the Rams plus 3.5 versus the freaking Packers? Because no one wants to bet on Brett Rippon. Because like the last time we saw Brett Rippon play, or I should say, like, not the last time, but like 2 times before that, it was against the Jets, and he had such a bad game. But then again, like, that was the Jets defense. Like, the Packers are 30th in defense, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. All right, so I think that's all the comments. So thanks everyone for tuning in. This is awesome to do. Love the feedback we get Saturday nights. Like, everyone geared up to watch football the next day. So good luck with everyone with your bets, everyone, and thanks for commenting and watching. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. I'll be back on Tuesday with Jacob to talk about the Week 10 picks, and hopefully we're talking about how we had a great Week 9. So thanks, Dan. Thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good night, and I'll talk to you on Tuesday.